Venus has burning heat, Mars has freezing cold, Jupiter has terrifying storms. Is there any planet in this universe where all three deadly conditions exist in one place? Maybe we don't know yet, but within the next few centuries, such a planet could be created inside our own solar system. And that planet is Earth. On one side, there will be no land left to grow food. On the other side, the atmosphere will become unlivable for humans. Several governments and climate scientists are already warning about this possible future. The reason is something called AMOC, and right now, the entire world is on alert. Because the process happening deep inside our oceans could slow down or even stop. Scientists say this could be one of the greatest threats to human civilization. Some parts of Earth could face long ice age conditions. Some regions could become so hot that human skin would burn. Other areas could experience endless storms, floods, and violent weather. This is not a theory. This is not science fiction. This is a real possibility, and it could be our future. So what exactly is AMOC? Why could it change the fate of humanity? And can we survive what's coming? Let's find out. Now imagine looking at Earth from space, but it doesn't look the same. The northern part of the planet is covered in a massive white blanket. Europe, Russia, and North America are buried under ice. The oceans have frozen into solid layers. Temperatures drop below -30 degrees. Survival becomes nearly impossible. This region turns into a frozen desert. Now look at the southern side. The heat is extreme. Water begins to boil. The ground becomes dry and hard, like glass. Nothing survives here. No trees, no crops, only burning land. But the real danger lies in the middle. At first, this region looks normal, but it never stops raining. Storms hit constantly. Winds destroy cities and entire nations. Floods wipe out everything. From space, Earth looks like it has split into three parts: a frozen death zone in the north, a burning hell in the south, and endless floods in between. Scientists call this future Earth. But how could this happen? The answer is simple. We are causing it. To understand this, we need to understand AMOC. AMOC stands for Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. You can think of it as a giant invisible conveyor belt in the ocean. Warm water from the equator flows north across the surface. When it reaches colder regions, it cools, becomes heavier, and sinks. Then it travels back south, deep inside the ocean. This cycle keeps Earth's climate balanced and stable. But now, this balance is under threat. The polar regions are warming faster than ever before. Ice that once reflected sunlight is melting. Dark ocean water absorbs more heat, making the warming even faster. This is called a feedback loop. As ice melts, huge amounts of fresh water enter the ocean. And this is where the real problem begins. AMOC depends on salty water because salty water is heavier and sinks easily. But fresh water is lighter. It doesn't sink. So when too much fresh water enters the ocean, the circulation slows down. Satellite data and deep ocean sensors already show that AMOC is weakening. Some scientists believe that within the next 50 to 60 years, it could collapse. If that happens, Earth's natural climate control system will break. Weather patterns will become unpredictable. Extreme temperatures will increase. Storms will intensify. The planet could become far more hostile to human life. And the effects won't stop there. Biodiversity will suffer first. Many species that survived for millions of years could disappear. Coral reefs, once full of color and life, are already turning into skeletons. Migratory birds are losing their navigation signals. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. Agriculture will also be affected. Most crops depend on stable seasonal patterns. But when the climate becomes chaotic, farmers cannot plan. Food production drops. Prices rise. Famine becomes possible. This is not just an economic issue, it is a survival issue. Infrastructure will also be damaged. Heat, storms, and floods weaken roads, bridges, and buildings. At the same time, glaciers melt and sea levels rise. Coastal regions across the world face flooding and displacement. Humidity and heat in some cities could reach levels where the human body struggles to function. In other regions, temperatures could exceed 50 degrees. This is a global challenge. Scientists call this chain reaction cascading climate events. One event triggers another, like falling dominoes. And the first domino could be the collapse of AMOC. Even though we know the risks, global action is still slow. But can we stop it? The answer is yes, but it will not be easy. We must urgently reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Carbon dioxide, methane, and industrial pollution must decline. The problem is not a lack of solutions. The problem is delay. If we fail, the question becomes even bigger. Can humans adapt to a new Earth? Scientists are exploring three main strategies. First, adaptation, changing how we live to survive extreme environments. Second, stabilization, protecting ecosystems to prevent collapse. Third, restoration, using advanced technologies like carbon capture and geoengineering to repair the planet. Which path will save us? No one knows. The world stands between hope and fear. Some regions are developing climate-resistant crops. Others are preparing for climate migration. Conflicts over resources are increasing. But one truth is becoming clear: we are not the owners of this planet. We are living on a fragile balance, and we have disturbed that balance. Now the future depends on what we do next. There are two doors ahead of humanity. Behind one lies destruction. Behind the other, survival. Nature will not open that second door for us. We must open it ourselves.